Today in the Brick Lab, we're going to be taking a look at an elemental dragon for Skylor. It would have been nice to make this dragon in the same bright light orange color scheme that Skylor has, but unfortunately parts on that color are super rare, and so I stuck with just plain orange instead, although I did add in some dark red highlights to match Skylor's updated costume design. Now, this is on the same scale as the mini fusion dragon, although I think in the end it turned out a whole lot better, especially in the head, which actually mimics the fusion dragon head design a lot better than the one on the mini fusion dragon. If you haven't seen that one yet, I'd highly recommend checking that out. Anyway, so the head features an opening mouth. It also has the teeth, the glowing eyes. Well, actually, that's just CGI, but if you want the real effect, you can hold the dragon up to the light, and the light shines through pretty nicely. And also we have some dark red spiked horns here, and some orange flaring just to give the head some shape. And then here on the neck, we can see that there's the mostly orange design with some translucent orange pieces, which I threw in there to kind of simulate the energy, the elemental energy aspect of the dragon. Then we have some dark red slopes up here to represent dragon spines. And as we can see here, that spike design also carries onto the body, and over here onto the tail, sort of. I guess if you pretended the studs were mini spines. I don't know. Originally, as I mentioned before, the dragon was going to be entirely all orange, but I'm really glad that I went with that. I'm really glad I threw in the dark red design, because to me, it just makes the dragon stand out a whole lot more, and I really like the the contrast that the dark red gives the orange. Those two colors go together really well. So moving on to the feet design here, we can see that I put in some orange slopes, and then to just make the feet look more dragony, I also put in some red spikes here. On the back, I did want to use those dark red tooth pieces, but they're pretty rare. They only appear in 8 sets so far, and so I just went with the translucent orange, which have appeared in several Mixel sets, I believe, and are probably a whole lot easier to find. And of course, the leg designs also slightly mimic the Fusion Dragon design. We have the slightly longer legs in front, then the shorter, blockier legs in back. Of course, the only problem is that the back feet can't rest on the ground all the way. The dragon's kind of on tippy toes, but I really had to compromise somewhere, and I feel like that's the best foot design I could have done. I mean, short of using those tiny clip feet from the Lloyd's Mech Dragon polybag. And then moving on to the wings here, they're built from 2 of the Fusion Dragon wing blade pieces, and much like the Time Dragon, they can also open up and close just to give the wings some variety and position here. And I probably should have built in 3 to really mimic that Fusion Dragon design, give the dragon some bigger wings, but I think 2 get the job done well enough, and 3 really wouldn't have been possible at this scale without making the wings seriously brick heavy. Of course, the most important part is that Skylor can also ride on the dragon. You just put her in between these 2 ingots here, put her on, and there we go. And if you'd like, you can also include some trans orange chains from the Nexo Knights line, maybe attach them to the back of the head here and have her holding onto them with her hands just to give the dragon some reins. I don't know. I feel like the dragon doesn't need them, and the chains would probably be too long anyway, but whatever you want to do, it's up to you. Anyway, this was a really fun design to put together. I kind of liked it, even though, I mean, I've done dragons for like the past few weeks now, and I'd really like to move on to something a little bit different. But, like I said, it was a fun design, and it was kind of a nice break to build something small after the giant time dragon from the past few weeks. Anyway, that about wraps it up for our mini Skylor's Dragon mock video. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, and do all that other good stuff. And of course, stay tuned because the build tutorial will be coming out next week. I hope, unless you'd rather not have a build tutorial. I don't know why you wouldn't want one. I don't know. I'm just rambling. Don't pay me any attention.